Howdy. My name's Doug Holub. I'm an electronics engineer who lives in Irving, Texas. This is me in my kitchen at home. Welcome to the show. I'm here to talk about how to have a good life. When I was a teenager, gave my life to Jesus, and it really changed things. Almost 40 years later, I've had a good life. And when I look around me in Irving, Texas and around the world, I see that a lot of people aren't having good lives. In Arlington, next to us last week, a woman poured gasoline on her 3 children and herself and set them all on fire. Yesterday, a co-ed at the University of North Texas, just north of here, was killed by her boyfriend. You don't have to look very far in the newspaper before you can see that we don't live in a very good world. So anyway, I decided to go talk to the YouTube folks, tell them everything I know about how to have a good life, so that maybe this world could be a little better place. And the following weeks to come, we're going to talk about a wide variety of things. How to have a good life with regards to your finances, your family, your work, your fun. We're going to talk about what the purpose for living is, why are we here, what should we be doing. So I hope that you'll tune in every week. Once a week I'll probably get one of these up here on the YouTube. And that maybe we'll all learn something from this. Today, just a little introduction. A little introduction about life and creation and how the whole thing started and how we got into this mess and how we can get out of it. I'm assuming you believe that there's a God. I think most people, and I mean more than 95% of people on the planet, not just in America, believe that there is a God in some way, shape, form, or another. I'm not going to try to prove to you that there is a supreme being. I'll leave that for someone else to do on YouTube. So in our discussions for the weeks to come, I'm going to assume that you acknowledge that there is a creator of the universe. Although I can't help but saying at this point, it's hard for me to imagine how anybody could believe that this world and everything we see around us just happened to get here by random chance. You know, I have a friend who's an atheist, and we were talking about it one evening, and he freely admitted that you need just as much faith, or I should say, you must have just as much belief in the unknown as an atheist as you do as a Christian or a Hindu or a Muslim or anything else. Because whereas the Christian faith, for example, would say that God created the heavens and the earth and everything that you see around us, the atheists have no answer for that question. And then you may say to yourself, well, what about evolution? Well, yeah, but evolution begins with a primordial soup filled with amino acids, and then lightning strikes the ocean or something, and these amino acids become self-replicating proteins, which become more complex proteins, which through random radiation mutations turned into single-cell life, etc., etc. But where'd the primordial soup come from? And the planet, and the sun, and the universe? And the atheists will be the first to tell you, we don't know, but we're sure that it wasn't some supreme intelligence that created all this. Well, you have to respect their opinions and their beliefs, but and if all we had was lists on a piece of paper, pro universal creator, con universal creator, or if all we had were facts in black and white on a piece of paper, that argued the merits of believing in a creator, or believing that nothing created this, it was always here. If that's all you had, it might look like a toss-up between world just always was, nobody knows why, and intelligent creator made all of this. But in my case, and I believe in the case of millions throughout the history of mankind, the difference has been something inside, something intangible, something that you can't put in black and white on a piece of paper, but something in your heart that tells you that there is goodness and that there is love and that the world is going to be a good place. Thank God. Well, that's what we'll be talking about here in the next few weeks. And like I say, I'm going to assume that, of course, well, I'm just going to assume I'm not going to spend any more time arguing the case that there is a creator, because most of you watching this have already accepted that anyway. Okay, hang on. Here we go. A long time ago, the earth was void. We're told in the book of Genesis in the Bible that it started out, the earth was formless and void. I don't know what that means, but there was something there. Who knows what it was? Who cares? And then this creator of the universe started with this blank nothingness and created a wonderful, marvelous world. Most likely unique. He created light, and he created plants, and things that flew in the air, and things that swum in the sea. And he created animals, and ferocious big animals, and tiny little animals. And after 5 days of creating this marvelous thing we call creation, we call the universe and the world around us, he made the best thing. Well, certainly the most complex thing. And that was, he made mankind. He made Adam. And from Adam he made Eve. And he put them in a wonderful place to live, the Garden of Eden. It had to be nice. The temperature was perfect. They weren't wearing any clothes, you know. So they weren't too cold. Maybe it did get hot in the afternoon, who knows. And maybe Adam and maybe Eve figured out some clever ways to stay cool in the Garden of Eden on those hot summer afternoons. Because I'm convinced they had all the creativeness and intelligence and spirit that mankind does today. But you know the story. You know what happened. They sinned. Adam and Eve disobeyed God, and they got thrown out of the garden, forced to sweat and raise their food with thistles in the ground. Hey, I want to go back to the Garden of Eden just for a second.